Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. It is Monday morning, and that means we get the joy of speaking with Mr. Greg Dickerson. How you doing, sir?
Doing great, Michael. Good to see you.
I see you as well. So, hey, one of the things that I'm starting to feel increasingly both confident and nervous, if that makes any sense, is we are on the cusp of repeating the 70s. And I say this as someone who's researched the last 50 years. I've actually spent more time on the 70s and 40s because those are the two decades where the US has seen sustained inflation. The 40s were 6%, the 70s were 8%. And more, what I see going on with politics, what I see going on with the Fed chair, it just feels like we're going to it's almost like we're repeating the 70s and we're just changing the names. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then the 70s were really when we were introduced as a country to stagflation meaning basically no growth, high unemployment, and high inflation, which is not a very good environment. So when I say stagflation, what does that mean to you? What are you thinking? Am I crazy to think about it?
No, I mean, I think we're headed there. I think more economists are talking about that every day. Nobody was really talking about it a couple of months ago, but everybody's talking about it now because that is the risk that's on the table with where we're at right now. The employment situation to me is interesting. I still haven't figured that out. I mean, the unemployment bonus is done, but we still have a lot of openings for jobs and a lot of people unemployed. I'm not getting it what people were doing before. So all of the restaurants, all of the hotels, everybody's hiring now and they can't get employees. But there's no sectors that are adding jobs at scale. So I'm not understanding where the workers went, where the people are that were working these jobs. And I went to visit my daughter over the weekend and we were looking at, she's a freshman, took her off to college this year, and we were outside of a Sonic on the highway, looked at their billboard on the road and it said now hiring $17 an hour for fast food workers. $500 bonus to apply at McDonald's, just application bonuses or hiring bonuses or whatever. So really interesting times. And I'm not really sure what's going on, why people haven't gone back to work yet. And with the bonus and stimulus and things like that, I mean, I don't know if people, were able to build up savings to where they, still don't have to work till the end of the month.
You know that answer. The American consumer doesn't generally save very much. They like to spend.
Yeah, it's really mind boggling because I expected, and I didn't even see weekly job reports last week. I don't know. It wasn't anywhere.
It was, so it came out on Thursday. Weekly unemployment claims were up slightly. I think 321,000.
Yeah. But did we get reports on how many jobs were added and things like that?
Not last week.
No. Okay. So yeah, I didn't think I saw that. So I'm waiting for that for the next print to see, what that looks like and where the jobs are being added, because it just doesn't make any sense. It seems like with that bonus being dropped, now they still get unemployment benefits at the state level.
True.
But the federal bonus is what's been dropped.
Correct.
So, maybe they worked out some other things and, doing more of the gig stuff like we've been talking about.
Yeah, maybe.
A lot of people that aren't doing that anymore and found other ways to make money. It's like, man, I ain't going back there, so that makes a lot of sense. But
yeah,
so we do have high unemployment still, but there's a lot of jobs available, which is interesting because usually when you have high unemployment, there's no jobs.
True.
There's plenty of jobs. So it's an interesting thing in terms of what are the real economic effects of high unemployment right now. It's not the same as it was in the 70s because there weren't any jobs. That was the problem in the 70s. There just weren't any jobs.
Yeah.
The economy is running hot. Everybody's hiring, everybody's looking for help, everybody's overbooked, everybody's overly busy, everything's at record highs. So I think it's a very different situation, very different environment now than it was in the 70s from that standpoint. Inflation is up double digits. I don't care what the Fed or anybody else says.
For sure.
And there is no transitory nature of inflation when all the restaurants, all the hotels, everybody's having to pay $15-20 an hour. Prices are going up. And I think it's great. I think, there needs to be increases in wages, but that's going to trickle back to consumers. Gas is, in most areas over $3 again. That's a big number that changes consumer behavior. You get over $3 in gas, that changes consumer behavior. But we have the holidays, and we know people, no matter what, they're going to spend on the holidays. We had the summer, people took their vacations coming out of the pandemic. So it'll be interesting to see what credit looks like, how much credit's been taken on lately, how much savings has been reduced lately, and what the real job outlook looks like going into the fall, because I just can't figure out where everybody went that left the workforce.
Yeah, my biggest call several months ago is I think we are about to experience a wage inflation or wage induced inflation, which is one of those things that feels good in the moment, right? Where if you take average earnings from 10 bucks an hour to 15, it feels great. It's a 50% move. And most companies won't be able to eat that in profit margin. They just won't. They'll eat some of it in profit, but not a lot of it. And again, what we're seeing now in businesses, all of them are talking about wage inflation, supply, everybody's raw materials are going up, and then shipping. Oh my God, shipping stuff is so much
Yeah,
more
shipping
expensive.
costs, food shortages. I mean,
Yeah.
barbecue ribs. There was something on the news the other day that the baby back rib market, you can't get baby back ribs.
Wow.
Yeah, just because there's not enough labor to move the product, there's not enough drivers. But again, it was family weekend at my daughter's college this weekend, so that's where I was, and they had to close one of the dining halls on campus because they don't have enough help.
Wow.
Um, yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I'm not getting where people are that were there before. Where did the workers go? Where did they get the jobs are there? So
Yeah.
very different. But yeah, those other supply shocks are real. They're out there. For anybody watching, just an FYI, the warnings that are out there are, if you need to order anything for Christmas, you better start doing it now, because if you wait till November, December, you're not going to get your packages in time.
That's funny. I just brought that up on the daily financial news saying, hey, if you're a parent, you want to get that go-to toy, order it now.
You
Stick
better
it in
do
a
it now.
closet
People
somewhere.
are like, you kidding me? It won't be here for 2 months. You just wait.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's funny you talk about that. We're obviously in the real estate game. Windows are now the leading indicator for dead days for builders, right? It used to be lumber, 1,600, whatever they call it, 1,000 board feet. Now it's windows. I know a builder who's looking to finish up, I think it's a tract of 12 homes. He was supposed to get windows early September, delayed till October. Now it's December. He's like, I'm done. I just got to put windows on the damn thing. It's not coming till December. I talk about, I don't know what that is, 60 days of dead days. And
Yeah.
oh, by the way, he can't get his money. So he's eating interest, which we shouldn't have had. It's crazy what's going on.
Yeah, I heard that from somebody else that because I mean that's a huge thing. Until the building's dried in, there you can't put sheetrock in,
Nope.
insulation. At least you don't want to.
Yeah, you
You
could.
could do some things and keep that moving forward. But yeah, windows are critical.
Yeah, Windows are one of those pieces that just stop, right? And I had never heard of dead days. And again, I'm not a builder, so it's probably why. But yeah, builders like even Pulte, no, was it Pulte? Yeah, it was Pulte talked about dead days going from roughly 2 to 3 to 15 to 20 dead days in their entire. And that's to me, that's it's interesting. But as somebody who owns and has a lot of debt, that 20 days of non-productive, you're still paying interest every day. And they have hundreds of millions in debt. That's coming out of somebody's gross margin.
Yeah, and it's trickled down. For every day you lose, on the front end of a project, it's 3 or 4 on the back end. So they're looking at
Yeah.
10, 15 dead days right now. That's going to result in double that
Wow. Yeah.
down towards the back end. It just
Wow.
everything trickles.
Yeah, it's crazy. So again, I think people would be wise to go back and look at the 70s, look at stagflation. And again, one of the things that I think Powell's repeating a mistake from, I should remember his name, but I looked him up. The guy that was before Paul Volcker as Fed chair, he's doing the same thing. He was not a Wall Street guy. He was a business owner. And what he came in and said, I'm going to focus on jobs and jobs alone, basically. And that's what he tried to do, right?
But you remember, it's a very different time. There weren't any jobs. So
No,
that's the difference.
Agreed.
There are jobs. So you can't come in and work on jobs because they're there. The problem is they can't get people to take the jobs.
Oh, I agree.
So it's not a jobs problem. We're not having a jobs problem.
No, it's unemployment. I don't know what you would call it. Not wanting to work. I don't know. But clearly Powell has changed his focus. It used to be 2.5 or 2% inflation was like goal 1 and unemployment was goal 2. He clearly flip-flopped, and now you could only have one priority. No matter how much you talk about 1A, 1B, 1A is always the priority. And I just think that's where his focus is going to be. And he's going to take his eye off inflation. And like you said, I think inflation's double digits. I really do.
Yeah, it's fascinating times. And you see, that's the other difference between now and back in the 70s. The Fed wasn't spending, $100 billion a month buying,
exactly,
buying mortgages and bonds and things like that, chasing competition out of the bond market. I mean,
yeah, they don't need to make a profit.
Market.
Yeah, they don't need to make a profit. They are the buyer and they're forcing other people out. That's why you have hedge funds buying real estate, because they can get yield. I mean, it's so obvious sometimes when you look at this, but yeah, I think.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And, You wanted to think that Powell had a grip on what was going on and kind of knew what he was doing, but people are really starting to question now whether he really actually knows what he's doing and the situation that's being created. Because I mean, wow, it's
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
Well, I think he's coming up for renomination. Do you think he gets renominated? I think it's in the next couple of months. Do you think he
Oh,
gets?
absolutely. Yeah. You're not going to
Okay.
change him right now because nothing's happening right now. Everything's good. Markets are up.
Mm,
I mean, again, the economy's booming from all standpoints other than people can't get employees. I mean, that's
yeah.
really right now, that's really the only bad news out there is you can't get employees. I
All
mean,
right.
interest rates are record lows. Everybody's pockets are fat and happy on Wall Street. I mean, why would you get rid of Powell? I mean,
Mm.
nobody wants him to go.
Yeah, so I think you're right. I think Powell gets renominated, but if for some reason he's replaced with someone, I think that upsets the stock. I think you would see a violent reaction in the stock market.
Depends on who it is and what their philosophies are. But yeah, any kind of a change midstream like this would be
Surprises, yeah.
upsetting.
It'd
Yeah.
be a surprise. That would be a change that I don't think the big boys are counting on. I think they think
Yeah,
he's going to
nobody's
be.
even talking about that. Nobody's talking about replacing Powell. I mean, I think everybody knows that. I mean, it's a no win situation that they're in, but
Yeah.
there's more and more writing on the wall to stop the taper,
Yeah.
to raise interest rates, to get inflation under control. But again, they're not worried about running hot right now.
Yeah, they have a meeting that starts tomorrow and Wednesday. I expect them to come out and say, nope, no interest rate rise till 2023, tapering. Maybe.
And now in the conversations, has shifted focus from all that to insider trading. So now with all the Fed.
Oh, I know. What's up with that? Those freaking guys are. Oh, that was
Wall
not
Street
cool.
people, man. They're all he came from Wall Street. So what do you think's going on? Why do you think they keep pushing money into Wall Street so they can all boost their stock portfolios and sell them off before they have to taper? That's why they haven't been tapering. He's like, wait a minute, I got some.
Are you out? Are you out?
No, we'll taper next quarter. I got to sell some more stuff, and we got to do it a little bit at a time. We can't do a bunch because that'll draw attention. So
yeah, that's not a good look. Shame on you.
Now that could be the only thing that could derail Powell is if he knew that stuff was going on or if he's involved in any of it. And that comes out, then he's done. He's out.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said last week. I said this is a bad look. No matter what happens, right? The guy at the top takes the blame. The buck stops there. If it comes out that he had any insight into any of this, he's done.
Oh, he knew about it. There's no way he didn't know what they were doing.
Oh well, if it comes out in any bad light, that would be. I actually said that would be enough to remove him.
Well, and the question is, was there anything really wrong with what they did, in terms of the moves they were making? But I mean, he knows what these people are doing.
Yeah. And these people, I don't even know. I'm actually might look that up after this call. What do you think the average net worth is of a Fed president? Because again, a lot of them came from Wall Street. I'm going to guess 20 million. I'm just going to guess. I'm going to look it up. You got to guess?
No idea.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
Seven figures? Are you willing to guess seven figures? Well, I think they're all 60 and above.
Probably some that may not even be that. I really don't know. I have no clue.
I'm going to look and I will text you later.
Well, now are you talking before or after?
Oh, good one. Before they got the job or after?
When they stepped in, 6 figures, now 10.
Well, that's one of the things that drives me crazy about Bernie Sanders, right? He's never had a real job in his life and suddenly he's worth $15 million or whatever it is. I'm like, yeah, you telling me being a politician doesn't pay. Oh, scary.
Yeah, for anybody watching that thinks politicians are stupid,
yeah, follow the money. Then you have
not be as dumb as you think.
Mr. Wonderful, right?
Yeah,
I forget what is his name? I just know his name.
Kevin O'Leary.
Yeah, O'Leary. Yeah, he did a video on Instagram that somehow got in my feed yesterday, and he bought an AOC sweater for $68. Said tax the rich. And Kevin O'Leary's going, AOC, let's work together. Let's brand this. Let's do this. She's like, she's making $40 a sweater. She's a capitalist. I'm like, good for you, Kevin. Good for you, Mr. Wonderful. It just made me laugh. It was funny.
Yeah. People think, people go into politics for change and to make an impact. And the only thing they're trying to change and impact is their bottom line.
Exactly. Their own net worth.
The streets in DC are paved with gold.
There you go. Well, Greg, this has been a great week. I appreciate all three conversations. How can people follow you?
Yeah. GregDickerson.com. Everything is there. Go check it out.
Do yourself a favor, folks. Follow him. He talks about a lot of things that I am not qualified to talk about. So, Greg, thank you very much.
Yep. Great week coming up. We'll see how it shakes out.
There you go.